So I have another Fougere fragrance to review for you today, and this time it's from the indie niche house of Mirus Fine Fragrance. This is the Elysian Fields, this right here. Plus you're going to have a chance at winning a full bottle of the Elysian Fields if you are in the continental USA, so please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. As I mentioned, this is another Fougere fragrance, and it is the Elysian Fields. It's from Mirus Fine Fragrance. And this is a 15 ml bottle. As you can see, it's very small, and it comes in Extrait de parfum concentration, so it's pure perfume. It retails for $65, so it's a great price for 15 ml parfum, pure perfume. And you can also buy a sample for $3. And both of these fragrances can be purchased at Tiger Lily Perfumery. I'll have a link in the info box. So as I said, this is launched in 2017. The perfumer behind Mirus Fine Fragrances is Neal Peters. I actually did a few videos with Neal. One of them was actually for Fougere fragrances. He was basically explaining what Fougere fragrances are. I'm going to cut to that right now so you can see that.
So Fougere fragrances, as Sebastian said, have been around for a very long time. The first Fougere was called Fougere Royale, and it was put out by Ubegun in the late 1800s, 1882 I believe, although there's some argument about when it came out. And Fougeres are supposed to go and recall the smell of a fern that ferns never had, or at least that's what Paul Parquet, the man who made Fougere Royale, described it as. He described it as the smell that he always wished that God had given ferns. And so this smell came from a combination of lavender, oak moss, and tonka bean, although it wasn't actual real tonka bean that they used, because Fougere Royale was also the first fragrance to ever use a synthetic ingredient. In this particular case, it was coumarin, which is what makes up tonka beans.
Thank you for watching that quick video with Neal Peters about Fougere fragrances. But a little more about the Elysian Fields. For notes, you've got lavender, tonka bean, oak moss, geranium, bergamot, lilac, cardamom, sandalwood, and white musk. As you know, I'm a big fan of Fougere fragrances. One of my favorite Fougere fragrances is Fougere Royale by Ubegun, a classic dating back to the late 1800s. And here, what Neal has done with the Elysian Fields is taken the Fougere fragrance to the next level. This is actually luxurious Fougere fragrance. So traditionally Fougere fragrances have lavender in the notes, and here with the lavender here is basically only the flower, none of the green or stem parts are in this fragrance, and you get to actually experience the quality and the richness and the heft of the lavender in this fragrance. It's just gorgeous with the lavender, and it's pretty intense. So it's a big blast of lavender, but it's not your typical kind of grandma type lavender, and I personally don't mind that, but here it's a very, very masculine take on the lavender. It's pretty big. It punches in your face. So you're going to be experiencing that intense lavender off the top, and that kickstarts your journey with the Elysian Fields. You've got lots of tonka bean in here as well, and wait until the fragrance is drying down is when you are really experiencing the smooth, really, really smooth, beautiful tonka bean. Now this is not your tonka bean that you might be familiar with fragrances like Fève Delicious, which is a tonka bean and cacao fragrance, or any other fragrance that utilizes that tonka bean note. This is more Fougere. There's nothing gourmand about it or nutty or almondy about it, although it does get close to a little bit of the almondy touch, but there's no sweetness to it. The sweetness comes from the lavender here, and it's really, really sweet from that lavender. But other than that, there's no real sweetness. So you've got the tonka bean, of course. You've got oak moss, and Neal actually uses real oak moss in here, and it's gorgeous. And you can really experience the oak moss. Of course, the geranium, which is also another trademark note for the Fougere, and bergamot. He also has lilac in here. You can kind of pick that up a little bit as well. Two purple flowers in the fragrance, which is really beautiful. If you're a big, big fan of those classy, masculine Fougere fragrances, the Elysian Fields by Mirus Fine Fragrance is one you definitely should put your nose on, because taking the Fougere fragrance to the next level. Now, if you are familiar with Fougere Royale, and I'm sure you are, because if you've been a fan of this channel, we've spoken about it many times. We've also mentioned that there is that pure perfume edition of Fougere Royale, which is really, really expensive. It's like $600 for a 100 ml bottle. Now, if you can't afford that one, this is your replacement for it. This is the actual pure, luxurious, pure perfume version for only $65 for a 15 ml bottle. I think it's actually even better than the Fougere Royale. Now, I did mention that here because Fougere Royale I've had so long, and I'm so used to it, and I love it. I still love it. It's the classic Fougere fragrance. But here, everything is amplified, intensified, and you get all those notes that are in a typical Fougere fragrance, just intensified. And I like my fragrances intense. And here with this, you only need 2 sprays. 2 sprays, and you're good to go for the whole day. It's a very long-lasting fragrance. It's a very, very rich fragrance, and it's just gorgeous. In the dry down, you start experiencing the tonka bean and the white musk, and there's a little bit of that woody sandalwood creaminess that comes in as well. But overall, a great, great fragrance. And the thing I like about the Mirus Fine Fragrances is it's a 15 ml bottle, easy to transport. You can put it in your bag, your purse, your backpack, your suitcase. They're not heavy, and you know, price is really also awesome, and the fragrances are very, very intense, and they last a long time. So you don't need a lot of sprays, and then the thing will last you longer because you're not having to respray over and over again for it to last. So I want to say this again, if you're at all into Fougere fragrances, this is one you should definitely check out. It's just gorgeous, just luxurious. It's just a luxury take on Fougere from an indie house here in San Francisco Bay Area. So please watch the videos about Fougere. I'll have the link to the extra long version of it, not the one I featured in this video. And also watch the video with Neal Peters discussing his house, his fragrance house, and he'll mention some of the more popular fragrances that he has launched. And definitely indie perfumer, and very, very quality. This is awesome. So guys, do you know anything about Mirus Fine Fragrance and or the Elysian Fields by Mirus Fine Fragrance? If you don't know anything about this line, do check them out. They're really, really great fragrances. One of my favorites from the line is Citria, which is a vetiver with citrus, which I really love. Great, refreshing fragrance that lasts a long time for summertime. They have many others, but do check out the line. And if you want to participate in the giveaway for the Elysian Fields full bottle for a subscriber of this channel in the continental USA, please put your comment down below and let me know what you like about Fougere fragrances and what your favorite Fougere fragrance is. And please list your state. This is only open to continental USA subscribers, please. This will be shipped by the Mirus Fine Fragrance company, and they'll get it to you as soon as we announce the winner, and as soon as you get back to me with your information. And please check your subscriptions to make sure that you get notifications from me so that you don't miss out on this giveaway, because this is really a really great release from an indie house that is awesome. So anyway guys, let me know your thoughts on Mirus Fine Fragrance. Are you familiar with the brand? Are you curious to try any of their fragrances? Are you familiar with the Elysian Fields? Do you want to try it? Let me know. Also, let me know your thoughts on indie perfumes. Do you have any favorites? Please list those below so we can get a conversation started. Also, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.